Welcome back to the Ancestral Findings podcast. Today's card comes from Pittsburgh, specifically the Golden Triangle, and it's one that really took me back. The moment I looked at it, I remembered the first time I drove through the Fort Pitt Tunnel. You're closed in, surrounded by mountains, and then all of a sudden the city just appears. It's a full reveal. Rivers, buildings, bridges, all at once. That first glimpse stuck with me, and this postcard, it brought all of that rushing back. The card shows the confluence, the place where the Allegheny and Monongahela rivers join to form the Ohio. That stretch of land is known as the Golden Triangle. It's the heart of downtown Pittsburgh now, but long before buildings filled the skyline, this place held a lot of history. In the 1750s, this very spot was home to Fort Duquesne, built by the French. Later, the British took control and built Fort Pitt in its place. From there, Pittsburgh began to take shape. That piece of land was always valuable, militarily, commercially, and culturally, and that stayed true through every century that followed. By the late 1800s, Pittsburgh had become one of the busiest industrial centers in the country. Steel mills lined the rivers. Trains, barges, and coal carts moved nonstop. And the smoke, well, you've probably heard stories. The sky would turn gray by mid-morning. Street lamps stayed on through the day because sunlight couldn't always break through. You couldn't walk through town without getting soot on your clothes, in your hair, even in your teeth. People carried rags or kerchiefs just to wipe their faces as they went about their day. It was gritty, but it was proud. This was a city that helped build America. Steel from Pittsburgh ended up in skyscrapers across the country. It went into ships, railroads, and factories. It was hard work, but it fed families and built futures. That was the spirit of the city then. The bridge in this postcard, the Point Bridge, was part of that everyday life. It opened in 1927 and carried traffic across the Monongahela River. You might have driven over it to get from the south side into downtown. It wasn't flashy, but it was built to last. A steel truss bridge, it mirrored the identity of the place. Solid, working class, useful. The bridge closed in 1959. By 1970, it was gone, dismantled. A piece of the past, now kept alive only in photographs, memories, and cards like this. When the heavy industry began to slow down in the mid-20th century, Pittsburgh had to face some hard decisions. The smoke cleared slowly. The riverfronts were no longer needed for mills and shipping. Old buildings were torn down. The city started looking ahead, but not without remembering where it had been. One of the most visible changes came at the very tip of the Golden Triangle. Point State Park was created there in the 1970s. The land was cleared, landscaped, and turned into a green space that still draws visitors today. The Fort Pitt Museum was built to honor the earliest chapters of Pittsburgh's history, and right at the edge, a towering fountain was installed, sending a column of water skyward, visible from just about every bridge that leads into town. That's where the Point Bridge once stood, and now you'll find paths, trees, and open space where smokestacks used to rise. So when I look at this postcard, I don't just see a bridge. I see the people who crossed it on their way to work. I picture barges moving beneath it and trains rattling in the distance. I think of the school kids riding buses into town and workers heading to the mills before sunrise. That bridge might be gone, but the memories it held are still alive in families across the country. If your people came from Pittsburgh, there's a chance you've heard stories about the old city. Maybe a great-grandfather worked in the mills or a grandmother lived near the river. You might even have a connection to someone who crossed this bridge every single day. That's what makes postcards like this so important. They're quiet reminders of moments we can't get back, but still have the power to find. If you've got a postcard that stirs something, a face, a name, a place, I'd love to see it. You can visit ancestralfindings.com, click on the contact link, and send me a message, and I'll send you my mailing address. I hope to hear from you soon. If you've got a hard-to-find ancestor you're stuck on, I'd love to hear about it. Just head over to ancestralfindings.com and click on Contact to send me a message. While you're there, take advantage of our free weekly genealogy lookups. Explore thousands of articles and enjoy hundreds of podcast episodes. We've been helping family history researchers since 1995. And if you're looking for even more, check out our Genealogy Gold Q&A series over on Patreon. Thanks for listening, and as always, happy searching.